What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining me today. Lions Talk Live Morning Show Edition. And you know what? At least if you pay attention to ESPN, they think the Lions are actually pretty close to making a couple of moves. We're going to dive into that during the main topic of the day. As you guys all know, next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the trade deadline. Will Brad Holmes make another move? Will they look to try to bolster their secondary, their linebacking core, the defensive line, the offensive line? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because all can be true, all can be false. But it is speculation season for NFL trades. We'll dive into that. We do have 5 glorious headlines for you now. Also, I do have a bit of an announcement for you guys. I've been working for about a week or so on a long-term video, probably about an hour long. And this would not mean me being in front of the mic talking to me about a specific topic, the actual video and kind of journalistic work, I guess you could say. So I'm hoping to have that out this weekend, but they might want to keep your notifications on looking for it. All right, before we get on the main topic of the day, the 5 headlines now, you probably know the drill by now. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 67 subs away from hitting 15,500. So if you can assist with that, I surely would be thankful. Also, if you have a half second of time, it's free of charge, doesn't cost a dime. Hit this thumbs up button, the like button. Hit all the buttons while you're at it. We try to get every episode of the show between 2, 3, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan or the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on your screen, 269-998-2384. Go ahead and give me a call. I have a conversation, see how I can use over 30 years in the industry, save you time, hassle, money, the whole shebang-a-bang. So with all that done, set out of the way, let's get the show moving forward, rocking, rolling, going, and kicking off with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming on at you right now. Detroit Lions injury update. Hopeful news on Marcus Davenport, Sion Vaki, Taylor Decker, SB Nation story by Jeremy Risman. Yesterday, many of you probably watched the presser for MCDC. I know I saw a lot of you over there in the comments section while I was at it. And man, credit to Pierce. I don't care what's going on in the universe. Anytime Davenport's name pops up in a presser, Pierce just seems to magically turn up right then and there. So could it be some sort of Twilight Zone thing? I don't know, but we'll have to dive into that during a different episode of the show. MCDC, getting back to Lions stuff, though, said, hey, Vaki is going to be back. He's been missing basically the entire season because of a groin injury and a hamstring injury. Sounds like he's going to be good to go. They're going to put him through some works and drills, see if he can go this weekend, and that'd be a good thing, a big plus to the Lions. If they can get him healthy, man, that depth in the running back room starts looking really nice for the Detroit Lions going into the final half of the season and then the playoffs potentially. So we'll see if that shakes out. When asked about Taylor Decker, MCDC also gave some fairly positive information. Said he went for it the prior practice, going to have today off. Tomorrow, Thursday, he'll be back on the field with the team. And all signs are so far looking positive that maybe the bye week gave him and that shoulder, maybe the training staff a little bit more time to kind of dive into it, get things all figured out. If he can get back to good to go fully, or at least as close to fully as they're going to get him this season, that's going to be a big win for the Lions. One of the things we've talked about, I feel like in the last month when it came to the Lions offense, is that you could tell they were using quicker patterns, not as many deep shots. Part of that was the pass protection issues they were having at the left tackle spot. You guys talked about it during live streams or live casts or whatever you want to call it of the games. And I think most observers could say, hey, Dan Skipper did not do a bad job. Giovanni Manu, hey, he had some good moments and maybe not so good moments. Decker been struggling to a certain degree. But if he's getting closer to being fully healthy, that's going to open up the playbook a whole lot more. And not just in the passing game, because the running game and the passing game have a symbiotic relationship. Before Mosi asks, though, let me just throw it out there. Marcus Davenport, just MCDC, at least in my opinion, doesn't have to be your opinion. Probably didn't want to address this one because he knew where it was going with the fan base and the media. Davenport trending in the right direction, getting healthier. When's he going to return, coach? We'll wait and see. So what we can say is he's not going to be playing this weekend. Could it be 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, 10 years from now? I don't know. But at least according to MCDC, he's getting closer to being ready. And to be fair, while the Lions defense has probably owned the opportunity to put other people into that starting left end spot, you know what we can say? At least if you trust the coaching staff, Sheppard and whoever else you want to list, they still think Davenport's the best one out there. Are they right? Here's what I know. If he's never available, it doesn't matter if he's the best person out there because, you know what? He's never available. The Lions won't produce any official injury report until later today, Wednesday. But here are some players missing from Tuesday's practice. Craig Reynolds, Taylor Decker, but MCDC did say they would be given the day off. Alakon Muhammad and Kirby Joseph. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Kirby this game. Do they give him another week off? I don't know. I wouldn't be upset from a personal standpoint if they gave him another week off, just to basically almost give him a month to let that knee rest up and heal. Beyond that, I think you start running into the situation is how long could it take to fully heal up that PCL? And at least in my opinion, I think it's going to take the entire offseason. I don't think it's going to be something you can do in season. So it's probably going to come down to monitoring it, watching snap counts, and then sort of like they've done with Decker, giving me a lot of practice times off during the week. Notable players who did return to the Detroit Lions practice after recent injuries. Baki already mentioned. Malcolm Rodriguez, you guys already know he's started his 21-day window to be evaluated. We'll see what happens. Terrion Arnold, he came back slightly for practices at least right before the bye week and the Monday Night Football game. Sounds like he's trending towards playing this week. In fact, I would probably say he's going to. And then Avonte Maddox coming back from the hamstring injury. The only thing I would say with Maddox, we talked about it for the Buccaneers and their wide receivers before that Monday night game. I'd be real hesitant to hurry them back just because a lot of times if you're trying to overcompensate for a hamstring injury, the tweak, and it's not 100%, you end up messing something else up. So if they don't feel like that hamstring for Avonte Maddox is fully healthy, at least in my opinion, it may not be the Lions' opinion, I would let him rest a little bit longer. All right, next to the 5 glorious headlines now. Study shows Detroit Lions are NFL's best drafting team over the past 5 years. Story by Ryan Love of Lions Wire. I was going to throw up some graphics. I didn't have time to get them all finalized. I'm just going to kind of walk you through it. So the last draft prior to this regime, Jeff Okudah was the number 3 overall pick, and then DeAndre Swift was number 35. Okudah, a 2-year starter, although I guess you could say he's starting again, but at least with the Detroit Lions. Swift, 2-year starter and a Pro Bowl. You can have your opinions about the regime that was here prior to this current one. I think most of us would agree it didn't go well. But to the point of this story, in the story, they mostly only identify the first round picks for the Detroit Lions and some second round picks. I think, though, if you want to do justice to this regime, you got to look at the totality of each of the drafts. And I think, yes, the Detroit Lions, I don't know if I'd say they're the best in the NFL, but I think there's a strong argument to be had that they are amongst the best drafting teams in the NFL. Probably in the top 3 at the worst. Maybe you could go to number 4. But there's definitely a case they could be the number 1 team in the NFL when it comes to drafting. If you get free time, you just want to do a deep dive, Scooby-Doo it a little bit, check out this article. I think we all agree. Whoever you want to list and talk to, Penei Sewell probably was the steal of that draft. The fact that you got him at number 7. He is a 4-year starter, 2-time Pro Bowler. He's only like 25 years old, 3-time All-Pro. And man, oh man, he has just been the fact that you had so many teams pass him down, probably because he was an offensive lineman. I get it. You want to take a quarterback, you want to take a receiver, you want to take anybody else. I think if you redid that draft, he might be number 1 overall, maybe at the worst number 2, because he has been that kind of guy out there. Levi Onwuzurike was taking that same draft at number 41 overall. We get it, his back injuries. I do think Brad Holmes in the front office knew this was a roll of the dice, because if you guys remember, coming out of college, he was probably considered the best interior defensive lineman in the NFL draft. But because of the back injury, his stock tanked quite exponentially. Lions understood that, rolled the dice, and you've had mixed returns on him for sure. 2022, Aiden Hutchinson, probably don't really have to dive into that one. You guys get it. He should have been the number 1 overall pick. Jameson Williams, Jay Powell, wow. I think the Lions knew what they were getting. I also think that you could have some conversations. Maybe they could have went in a different direction. Here's what we do know. Multiple different teams have since come out and said if he didn't have the ACL injury, he would have been their number 1 wide receiver on their draft board. I think the Lions saw value there. You could have I get there's going to be tons of different opinions on this kid. I like the pick. I like where he's going. Yes, he hasn't been a huge part of the offense as much as anticipated this year, but I do think a lot of that is because the offensive line flux and what they're asking him to do. Will that change in time? We'll have to wait and see. Number 46 in the number 46 pick, in the 2022 draft was Josh Pascal. We all probably have opinions on him. I just hope this young man is doing well in life because, I mean, I'm not even going to go into it. You guys all get he's dealing with some personal battles for his health. The 2023 draft, everybody in national media threw shade at the Lions during that first round. What are they thinking? This isn't the 1970s draft. You know, what are you doing drafting a running back number 12? What are you doing drafting a linebacker number 18? And you could argue the Lions have helped revitalize that thinking process across the NFL because since that draft, you've seen teams kind of shift back to this. Gibbs, there's nobody in the NFL that questions that pick any longer. Jack Campbell, I would assume, but maybe I don't know, that most people think that was the right move nowadays, where back in the time, not so much. Laporta at 34 was an absolute steal, and if he was a steal, then you have to think Brian Branch was a steal. Laporta is a 2-year starter, earned a Pro Bowl. Brian Branch, 2-year starter, earned a Pro Bowler. And in 2024, Terrion Arnold, what we know so far is he started as a rookie. He's starting this year. He has not earned a Pro Bowl yet. Although I've said this a billion times before, I think it's really hard to evaluate cornerbacks, the average cornerback, after just a year. So wait and see after the third year. That would be my rule of thumb, and whether or not they're panning out or not. All right, next to the 5 glorious headlines now. Didn't even want to get into this one, but probably need to address it after yesterday's main topic. Lions defensive coordinator Kelvin Sheppard just poured some gas on the fire of the idea of him being LSU's next head football coach. A to Z Sports, Mike Payton with this one. AI is a heck of a thing. AI, I mean, you've all probably seen it. It can bring pictures to life, get them to move around. You can do all sorts of stuff. Well, Kelvin Sheppard apparently made an AI photo of him in LSU gear in football attire being the head coach of, LSU. So for everybody that doesn't like the idea of him leaving, here's what I can say as a coach. Maybe he's at least taken some moment of time to think about it. He did put it up on his social media. He liked it. He liked apparently a bunch of other people mentioning him in the conversation, be LSU's next coach. He didn't come out and specifically say anything, but I think we all get it in the day and age of social media stuff. You put a picture of yourself as the LSU head coach. You go and like the pictures that other people posted and comments. You know, it's just going to add to it. And whether or not they interview him, I don't know. He's got whatever it is, 7-8 games under his belt as a defense coordinator. Could it be just because he played there that maybe LSU trends that way? Maybe because they can save some money while paying off Brian Kelly's contract. All of it can be true. All of it can be false. Here's what I know. He's here right now. Enjoy it while you got it, because if he keeps kicking butt the way he is, somebody's going to offer him a job, whether it's LSU, whether it's an NFL team, whether it's Pop Warner football at the public schools. I don't know, but some point, somewhere, he's going to get offered a job. So enjoy him while we got him. I'm anticipating we'll have him this year and next year, but one never knows. If somebody really sees the talent in him, thinks, man, we need that here, what are you going to do? All right, next one. Brian Branch suspension added another chip to my shoulder. Pro Football Folk talking, by Josh Apier. Josh Apier did an interview with Brian Branch amongst other journalists. And you know what? Brian Branch, pretty dang focused. He's ready to be back on the field. And we talk about when the Lions draft or sign players, find players, trade for players, whatever you want, metrics you say, they look for people that have that chip on their shoulder, that got slighted by somebody else. You guys, you Lions fans, you all know the stories about Jared Goff, kicked to the curb by the Rams, revitalized his career here, got that chip on his shoulder. Amon-Ra St. Brown got that chip on his shoulder. And just go through everybody on the team. And Brian Branch, you guys all remember, he was expected to be a first-round pick. He was the only guy that was invited to the draft for the first round that stuck around to day 2. Everybody else flew back home. They were embarrassed, whatever. Brian Branch said, nah, I'm going to have that moment to walk that aisle. I'm going to live up to it. And to me, that spoke a lot of volumes about who he is and why the Lions want him. Well, Brian Branch sounds like he understands he should not have open hand slapped Juju Smith-Schuster. Understands he needs to temper down a little bit, not be in front of the officials as much, cause any kind of situations that impact this team. But he also says he's ready to come out and play even more aggressive and assertive on the field within the structure of the rules, and he wants to help lead his team to the promised land. We all get it. This entire team is focused on the Super Bowl. As Donkey Kong in the comments section often reminds us, it is Super Bowl or bust for this team. All right, last of the 5 headlines now. Depth is no longer a problem for the Detroit Lions. The lead, Jackson Overholt with this one. I put this one up here just because it does kind of tie into the main topic of the day. Lions really don't appear to have many holes. And I know we can all say, hey, we could definitely use another superstar pass rushing defensive end. We can definitely use another left tackle, whatever. But if Taylor Decker is returning to health, and if we have some level of faith in Dan Skipper, it may not be, the left tackle may not be as big a situation as possible, or as once thought. With Frazier returning from the injury, Sooner versus Miles Frazier, sooner versus later, that would be another person who could play guard and tackle. What you have in him, at least I don't know, because we haven't seen him at all this year. But when you look throughout the defense, it does appear the Lions are incredibly deep on that defensive line. The linebacker room with, Cunningham and Rodrigo coming back. I mean, you've got 2 guys backing up the starting 3 linebackers that could start on a lot of NFL teams. Rodrigo and Cunningham have been starters in the past. The secondary, if we had any questions about the depth, we all get it. After the Monday Night Football game, we're probably feeling pretty good about that depth. Offensively, maybe you could find somebody who could be a better backup quarterback, but I'm just not sure who that person would be. Running back with Vaki coming back and Reynolds, when he gets fully healthy, you got 4 guys who can tote the ball that you've seen do it before. Yes, I get with Vaki, health, being available for games is a bit of a concern. Receiver room, we haven't even tapped into some of the guys that are some of the main backups on this team, and hopefully we don't ever have to. We did have some conversations, I think it was yesterday's show, about the Lions potentially trying to find a third blocking tight end. The only problem is I'm not sure if it's a big issue for this team because you use so many 6 offensive linemen like a Skipper or somebody else, maybe Manu when he returns, or, Tesla being used in that role a little bit. That's one thing we talked about all offseason. If Tim Patrick remained with this team, I thought he would basically be slotted in as the number 3 tight end who could also play receiver. So if you're the Detroit Lions, really, where's the holes on this roster from a depth standpoint? It'll be interesting to see what you guys have to say about it. I'm sticking with, in my opinion, if you add any depth pieces, if you go out and make any of these trades, I'm just not so sure where the big need is. So would you overpay to acquire someone that ultimately you don't need? I could see the Lions potentially, if they really are thinking Super Bowl or bust, doing some 1-year rentals for players, but how much are you going to pay to get any of those guys? I don't know. We'll see what the Duke Crew has to say. All right, all that done, settled away. Let's get over to the main topic today, dive into what Jeremy Fowler and others were saying at ESPN. All right, so ESPN, I want to give credit where credit's due. I don't like calling somebody else's work my work. It's just not how I'm wired. But Jeremy Fowler and Matt Bovin, yeah, you get it. With the trade deadline, less than a week away, you have everybody at ESPN in full move, full blow, trying to go on to stuff about talking about who's going to be traded here, there, putting out lists probably every hour of the day because they have got to produce content 24 hours a day. Summarizing all this as I'm trying to do, here's the quote. Detroit Lions are working on getting back from their bye week, but the NFL trade deadline buzz is just heating up. According to ESPN analysis, Matt Bowen and Jeremy Fowler, two defensive standouts, are linked to the Detroit Lions and in deep conversations between their teams and the Lions organization. Seattle Seahawks cornerback Roquan Woolen and Miami Dolphins edge rusher Jalen Phillips. So we get it. We've talked about these guys before. We talked about them, I think, several times on the show. I also understand why both would make sense. I've offered my thoughts after watching Woolen quite a few times now over the last month or so. I think he would be a great addition to this team because he is so good in man coverage. What do the Lions want to do almost more than any other NFL defense the last 4 to 5 years? They want to play man coverage. They want to play physical man coverage. Woolen gets flagged for penalties. That's why he's kind of fallen out of favor in Seattle. But you know what? If you're asking people to play on the island as much as they do when they play man-to-man, you're going to get flagged. It's unavoidable. I would use this reference. Would you rather the guy let you go and not get flagged, give up a touchdown, or are you okay with that 5-yard, holding or the PI call for 15 yards or 13 yards, whatever it may be? I can only give you my opinion, and this is why I've often been a supporter of Terrion Arnold. I think Terrion Arnold's playing great. I also think he makes some business decisions. Give up 7 or give up 5 yards, 8 yards, or whatever it is on the penalty. I know which one I'm choosing as a coach. What are you choosing? I know some of you guys say, nah, give him up the touchdown. I don't want any more penalties out of this kid. That is your prerogative. That's your thought. Woolen, though, I think he does play a lot like Arnold. I think he would add a lot of depth. He's got some size. He's got some wheels. He's not the biggest cornerback by any stretch of the imagination. But from a depth standpoint, he would add more depth to this team. Could he play maybe some safety? I'm not so sure, but I do think you free up Rocky Osing to play more safety, which he did in the preseason. He's done in other spots in his NFL journey. So from that standpoint, maybe you make the safety room and cornerback room deeper. In regards to Phillips, we all get it. We all love pass rushing defensive specialists or whatever as Lions fans. Talk about this guy. He's got the burst. He's got the spin. He's got the speed. He would definitely add a whole lot to that if the Lions were to acquire him. The Miami Dolphins, we all know, are probably in the midst of a fire sale. They're thinking about the future, not this year. They've got a dumpster fire of a situation. Their coach is a lame duck. They got players that probably are going to get shipped out of there by a new staff because they don't want to deal with some of the stuff that's going on there. Everything can be true. Everything can be false. Do you think the Lions make a move for him? Well, let's analyze the fact that Brandon Holmes loves himself injured players. We all know that Phillips, he's got a bit of an injury history in the last several years in the NFL. Do I think either guy would cost much to acquire? No, I don't. The last few seasons, Brad Holmes has made some trades. We all get Zadarius Smith, bunch of 6th round picks, 7th round picks, stuff like that. And then, of course, you got, who was the guy we got from Cleveland? Like nobody saw. Why are we trading for a wide receiver? I can't even remember his name, but he's not even here anymore. So is it possible that we make a move like that? Yeah. As far as offensive linemen, I've tried to Scooby-Doo. Really, is there any tackle that's out there that's worth a dang that you could get for lesser round picks? And I just don't think there is. If you guys have an idea on some sort of tackle we could pick up that wouldn't cost a first or a second, and again, somebody who could start, I'm just not sure who that person is. There's some guys out there that I think if you're going to go 6 offensive linemen, which the Lions do a lot, could they be a bit of an upgrade over Skipper? Yeah. Would I pay much for that slight upgrade? Probably not. But that's, again, how I would do it. Doesn't mean that's how you would have to do it. What do you think happens by Tuesday at 4 p.m.? Does the Detroit Lions or do the Detroit Lions make a move? I do think there's going to be a move made. I just don't think it's going to be one that, anybody's jumping on and saying, man, we've got some awesome breaking news. Probably some depth moves. But let's also be fair. The Lions are in a situation where they have so much depth right now. You can only protect 53 of these guys plus 4 people on the practice squad. So we'll just say 57 people. There are 4 people on the practice squad. You can say, hey, he can't be poached. Maybe Ahmed Hassanin, who's coming back soon, is one of those 4 on the practice squad. I personally think he's going to be on the 53. Davenport, when he returns, is going to be on the 53. Are you putting Nick Whiteside on the practice squad? I wouldn't, because he's one of the few corners that we have with burst, with speed, locates the ball instinctively. Not, you can tell it's not some sort of reflex or whatever. He does it on his own without even thinking about it. And you know what? He's got some size that we don't have a ton of in the secondary. I don't know. We've got a lot of new moving parts with this team, and I like the way it's at right now. The more people you add, the less you can protect. Who are you willing to ship out of here when we add somebody? Let's see what you guys have to say and get over to the comments section. All right, let me scroll to the top of the screen. Give me a second. I got to go through a few comments here to get there. I'm still sprinting towards the end zone. Here I am, and there we go. Michael D, greeting and salutations, coach and Duke crew. Exclamation point, one pride. Woo! Who doesn't like to woo in the morning, Michael? Gary, morning, everyone. Back at you. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke crew. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Kurt Steele, what up, though, Duke crew? What's up, man of Steel? How you doing? Henry Moore, what a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Hey, I concur, man. I think we're going to win a Super Bowl this year and maybe the next 10 straight years. I'm down with that. Bo, good morning, Duke crew. Lock it up, villain. Exclamation point. Woo! I like the way you're thinking, as always, Bo. Henry Moore, good morning, Professor Steele. Kurt Steele, Henry Moore, good morning. Robert, greetings and salutations, one and all. Hey, always good time to be a part of the Duke crew, right, Robert? Johnny L, good morning, folks. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Shep posted a photo of him as the LSU head coach. Sounds like he wouldn't be mad if he got the job. I don't think he would be. No, not at all. Whether or not it's going to happen, I don't know. I think LSU, I get why, since he played there and everything. I'm just not sure if he has enough experience, but it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the school thinks. School wants him. They're going to make him an offer. We'll see what he does. Just greetings, salutations, Duke crew. Does anyone honestly feel like Brad makes a trade? Hope he do, but when has he ever done it? The last couple years he has made moves. I don't remember his first year. I don't think he did. I know we traded for Trinity Benson, but that was in the preseason. Benson didn't work out. Wide receiver from the Denver Broncos. Had a lot of good stuff about him. Just for whatever reason, didn't work. Johnny L, good question, Jess. I concur. Michael D, Brad Holmes most likely to poach players from the practice squad. Yeah, 100%. He seems to find good value there. And give him credit. We talked about some of the guys that filled in Tampa Bay Monday Night Football. These were not guys we traded for. These were people other teams had moved off of or said, hey, we're not even interested in protecting him. Have at him if you want. And the Lions found success with him. Dave, Brad, moved for Smith last year. And Donovan Peoples-Jones, thank you for that. The year before that, Justin. Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember the guy's name. Drake, if Holmes does make a trade, it's going to be for late-round picks. Yeah, he made a few deals, so don't rule it out. Correct with that. I agree with that fully. Just okay, well, those two, laughing out loud, David. I forgot about Donovan Peoples-Jones. Yeah, what a waste that was. And I get why you forget about him because he just didn't really do anything here. Maybe the Lions felt like they needed more depth that year. I don't know, man. Johnny L, the whole shebang and bang. You got to be shebang and banging, right? Johnny L, I agree with you on that. Hey, it's good to have agreements. Dave, I've seen some people throwing shade about Sheppard being considered for the LSU opening. Why? Question mark. We don't want our coaches to succeed. Only if they are good with us. Selfish thinking. You can have your thoughts on it. I'll say this. As a selfish Lions fan, I want everybody to stay here because that's best for the team. But to your point, Dave, I also get, hey, if they really want to advance their career, if they're really worthy of other openings and positions, then God bless them. Let them go get it. And, hey, I'll be cheering for you. Johnny L had some questions. Jess, Minnesota's in trouble if JJ goes down. Who is their backup now? Yeah, for those who don't know, Carson Wentz did elect to have season-ending surgery, I want to say in his labrum. So, hopefully he recovers. I wish him well, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be back this year. And who's their backup? Man, I don't even know at this point. I think we are going to get after JJ a lot Sunday, and can't wait for it. Yeah, even if he goes down, the Minnesota Vikings season's over. I mean, he's got to go through some learning curves. If I'm Minnesota, hey, you put yourself in this situation by letting Darnold go, and I guess you could say Daniel Jones go. I understand you invested a high draft pick in this guy, but to be fair to him, you've got to give him time to develop like you would with any rookie quarterback. Pat, good morning, crew. Back at you. Big Eddie, excuse me. Danport ain't ever coming back, laughing out loud. Let's see. Dan Campbell looked like he didn't even want to address it when asked. I would agree with you. He looked like he wanted to already get to the next question. Danport, I know he had a pec tear of some degree. I'm surprised he's not back by now, but everybody does heal differently. Gary, I keep saying watch where they have ties. Number 1, New Orleans, Miami, and Denver. Yo, good call there. Denver, probably the only one out of that group is a playoff push. So maybe New Orleans. And I know we talked about Cam Jordan before. Miami, I think they're just trying to get as much draft capital for next year as possible. Dave, good morning, Pat. Paperback fan, great and salutations, Dooku. Can't wait for Sunday, another week, and all this trade stuff talk will be over. Exclamation point. You're not wrong, but then you'll start hearing people talk about, hey, can we pick up this guy off the practice squad or free agency next year? Heck, there's already draft stuff coming out. And I thought about putting one of them up there in the 5 headlines, and I was like, nah, I'm going to wait on the draft stuff. Scarblade, good morning, Dooku, starting lineup, exclamation point. Submerge in a new album. I almost forgot about the show. It happens, man. It happens, especially when you get distracted. Hookadoo, good morning, Duke Crew. One Pride, trade Davenport. He's in the hospital more than he's on the field. Have a great day, Johnny L. Carey, Bo Booth, Henry. Oh, yeah. Hey, hopefully everybody has a great day. Johnny L. Dang, only 10 games of the regular season left. Yeah, it goes by quickly, don't it? Trim Reaper, good morning, Coach Dan, the world-renowned Duke Crew, exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Woo! And back at you. Johnny L, you too, Hookadoo. What album? We'll find out. Susan Scott, the season really does move along fast, doesn't it, Johnny L? You're not wrong there. The holidays are almost here. How about that? We're talking about Thanksgiving dinners and stuff like that. Hookadoo, what album? Moonscar? Question mark. Johnny L, yes, it does. Moonscar Blade. Anyone see the video of the kid showing his Thriller touchdown celebration to J-Mo and Ja? Pretty cute. No, I haven't seen that one. I'll check it out. 5 fingers ready. In your opinion, we need a backup offensive line, not defenders. Could be accurate. Trim Reaper, Timmy. We haven't seen him, man, since that Monday of the Tampa Bay game. I wonder what happened to the dude. Jennifer, good morning, everyone. Exclamation point. Time to start work. Hey, get ready for work, my friend. Pierce, DDI. Could be true. Scar Blade, Hookadoo. Call the devil by some Ohio boys known as Mushroom Head. All right. Don't know them. Amy Spray, good greetings, salutations to the ultra wonderful Duke Crew and illustrious Coach Dan! Exclamation points. Missed you guys. I was in Canada and glad to be back home. Can't wait until I can watch our guys. Love our Lions. Hey, I think we all love the Lions. Could be why we're here, but hopefully had a good time in Canada. Steve Pierce, I knew you had to be smiling when Davenport was talked about yesterday. Probably accurate. Johnny L, the Trim Reaper, I think he's gone for good. It could be. Pierce, during the MCDC pressers, the damn hurt question happened right when I showed up. There does seem to be a surprising thing about you show up right there more often than not. Here, Steve Rogers, it happens like clockwork every time I click into a room. Boom, damn part question. How about that? How about that indeed? Hookadoo, never heard of the Moonscar. I'll look on YouTube and see what I can find. Wise thinking there. Pat, prayers for Jamaica. Yeah, they're getting hammered, man. The wife and I yesterday, I mean, she watches social media stuff a lot more than I probably do, and she was showing me the videos. I see some of the winds are getting up to like 190. How do any buildings survive that there? I mean, that's almost like a nuclear wind right there. But I know, just thoughts and prayers because, man, that's got to be tough. Let's start right, but not your cup of tea. Could be. Johnny L, I missed it. What was said about Davenport? He's hurt still. Trim Reaper, my guess is the Lions' next loss and see the return of Timmy. Could be a very accurate correlation there, Trim. Hookadoo, what happened in Jamaica, Pat? Yeah, just the storm. And I guess from what the wife told me, it's a slow-moving hurricane, so it's going to take its time really going over Jamaica. That's unfortunate. Jessica, good morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Back at you. Chamir, good morning, Duke Crew. Good to see you. Feels like we don't see you as much as we once did. So I'm just happy you're here, my friend. Johnny L, serious Cat 500 Hurricane Hookadoo. There you go. Just, I am prepared to be underwhelmed. It happens. Carrie, 185 mile per hour winds from the hurricane. Yeah, I knew it was moving pretty dang fast. So small. Aren't they getting 170 mile per hour storm winds? Question mark. Pretty sure that's them. Yeah, and I guess they're even faster than that, maybe, potentially. Dang, praying? Yeah, probably got to throw a prayer that way. Johnny L, Jessica, what's in your wallet? I guess we'll find out. Trim Raver, the best part of waking up is Lions Talk Live with some Mountain Dew in your cup. You're not wrong there, and well said. Hookadoo, haven't been watching much news? Yeah, I don't watch it much either. Amy, Pat Rock, I agree. Prayers for Jamaica. Exclamation point. Melissa looks angry. Very, very angry indeed. Apparently, she drank a lot of Mountain Dew. Johnny L, so small. 185 mile per hour winds. All right. Tori, sounds like the Vikings have some serious injuries of their own. Yes, indeed. They do have a couple guys, at least out of practices. Whether or not they play Sunday, wait and see. But they dropped this game, and if JJ gets hurt, they're probably phoning it in the season. I would anticipate. Pierce, Johnny L. MCDC said he's not coming back anytime soon. Probably true. Gary, hi, JJ, meet your old friend Hutch. I guess they had a conversation. I could have put it in the 5 headlines, but I guess he reached out, or Hutchinson reached out to JJ, talked to them. I get it. They played together, Michigan friends, etc. Hookadoo, and global warming is a myth. Could be. I don't know. Johnny L., we need to get rid of him, Pierce. So might be at the end of the season. Trimmer, I thought you were talking about Alaska being flooded. Yeah, we had that, a week or two ago? Something like that. Jessica Campbell said Davenport should play again this year. How much he is getting paid? His contract, he basically only gets paid if he plays. So that's one good thing they did with his contract. This year, how much is he getting paid? Another Mosley, but the Lions knew that when they were signing him more so than Pity. Yeah, the Pity 100%. Jess Holmes can't stay away from those blue light specials. Could be accurate, man. Some people like those specials. Pierce, Johnny L. could get a half a case of Mountain Dew. I don't know if it's that much on the contract. Marcus, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, always a pleasure to see you. I do love the angry Smurf, the photo, by the way. We do Pierce, and that would be a knockoff Mountain Dew. Probably accurate, and I don't care for the knockoff dews. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan and the world-famous Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Woo! Back at you, Johnny L. He's not even that, Pierce. It's not probably even worth that. Yes. Mary, good morning, Duke Crew. Happy Wednesday, and counting down for a win-win. 100%. I think let's get a big win. Gary, JJ is going to need a case of W after this game. Probably. Yeah, he's going to need some bandages, too. Detroit D, another person I feel like we haven't seen in a couple days. With some exclamation points. Let's flip and go, Detroit Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Chuck, greetings, salutations. Coach Dan, the famous Duke Crew. 100% with an exclamation point. Back at you, Chuck. Ziggy and friends. Good morning, Captain Dan and the Duke Crew All-Stars. Aren't we all All-Stars? Or hopefully elevating someday to be All-Pro. Hookadoo. Good morning, my Queen Mary, Johnny L, Cycle Knuckles. Let's unleash them. The program 11. Go Lions. Woo! I like it indeed. Coach Reich, good morning, Duke Crew. Looks like wait and see time about a trade. Yeah. I mean, I could get why they'd want to do it before Tuesday. The only thing is, it's my anticipation a lot of teams wait closer to Tuesday just because if teams don't have offers, they might be willing to lower the price just to unload the product or the player, etc. Johnny L., good morning to my Queen Mary. I concur. Marcus, remember, the same fans want us to sign Ladarius Sneed. Trust Brad Holmes, exclamation point. Yeah, Sneed, I get, take the money if people offer to you, get that contract, secure your future, your family, etc. But he has not probably lived up to that contract, at least in my opinion, but I don't watch the Titans enough. Moonscar Johnny L, totally get what's in your wallet reference. There you go. Drum Reaper playoffs, question mark. Ziggy and friends, Duke Crew All-Stars. You gotta love them. Same old soup, just reheated, a bit tardy but present. Hey, I know you had a question or a thought about a song, Same Old Soup. Maybe put that link in the comments section and everybody can check it out. Maybe that'll try to help you out a little bit. Johnny L at Mary, good morning, Hookadoo, Johnny L, Trim, Carrie, all the above. Hookadoo, I see that also, Johnny L. Mary Smith, Rocky, good morning. Pierce, Hookadoo, so much, Mellow Yellow, you're laughing out loud. Yeah, I don't mind Mellow Yellow, I just prefer the Dew. Ken, good morning, Duke Crew. Woo, back at you. Manifest my destiny. Another person we haven't seen a hot second. Good to talk to you again, Dano. Wishing all of our Lions fans a victory on Sunday. I'll be at Ford Field celebrating my son's birthday and first time at Ford Field. Well, hopefully it's a great time for him at Ford Field. And, hey, go enjoy it. That'll be a great memory, man. Marcus, hit that like and subscribe button. Brian Brandstyle. Hey, Brian Brandstyle. That's a good one. I like that one. Pierce is laughing, says Hookadoo. Johnny L. Moonscar, I hope Jessica gets it. Marcus, I don't hold my breath on Davin Hurts. Yes, indeed. Probably a good idea there. But you'd be probably out of breath by now. Lauren, Marcus, I broke my screen because I punched the like button. Hey, don't hit it that hard. Just hit it enough to click. Pierce, Marcus, I already gave it up on that one. All right, Marcus is laughing. Egon, Sierra Mist. Ooh, there you go. Maybe more of a Sprite knockout. I don't know, man. Teach their own. The Trim Reaper Davenport is next in the Twilight Zone. Could be true. Tab says Johnny, and he's laughing. Riley, good morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation. Good early morning to you, my friend. I know it is early there. Stephen, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Always a pleasure to see you, Stephen. Riley, Coach Dan, I am, and you are Riley. How you doing? Pierce, Coach, it is literally clockwork. Yeah, it is literally clockwork. You got to love clocks, right? It tells us time. Detroit Grit. Davenport is like toothpicks glued together on the field. Hate saying it. I would love to see him stay healthy. I think we all would. It's unfortunate, but he just, for whatever reason, he just can't. Clearly doesn't drink enough Mountain Dew. Silver Server, Mary Smith, good morning, Mary. Exclamation point, Moonscar. She may not want to Granier any extra attention. Could be. Mary, good morning, Silver Server. Ken, Davenport might be the biggest bust because of injuries in NFL history. Exclamation point. Dude got rich by not participating. Good work if you can get it. Silver Server, Hookadoo, good morning, sir. Trim Reaper, are you ready for another Davenport injury? Let's hope not. Johnny L, good one, Moonscar. Silver Server, and last but not least, good morning, Coach. Hey, thanks for that, Silver. Moonscar, I'm smart and I know how to Google. Exclamation point. Nothing wrong with that. Brian, good morning, Dan and everyone. Maybe they are saving Davenport until playoffs. It's a possibility. Anyways, yeah, it could be. Maybe they do have that mind process. Could be, Brian. Good outside the box thinking. Hookadoo, she would be, could be, she is Jennifer Moonscar. Could be. I don't know. Trim Reaper, practice with question mark. Rock, Grip Morning, Mary, and Hookadoo, Johnny L. Pierce, the Trim Reaper, DDI, Davenport definitely injured. Correct. Johnny L, MD is worthless. Marcus Davenport. There you go. Trim Reaper is laughing. Hookadoo, Grip Morning, Rock, and Silver Server, Mary Smith. I'm giving Coach Dan his flowers this morning for all you, for us, and holding down Mom and the family. Woo! To Lions Talk Live, Coach. Hey, thanks for that, Mary. And Mom gets her update. She gets re-examined on Friday. They're going to determine whether or not she needs surgery or other procedures to repair the shoulder, because apparently there are a few breaks in the shoulder. So I'm can't wait for that to get passed so she can move forward. Johnny L, Grip Morning, Rock, and thank you for that, Mary, by the way. Mary, good morning, Rock. Johnny L, how's your mom, Coach? And now you know, knowing is half the battle. Marcus, Rams, Bucks, and Lions. I'll take all the above. Pierce, like Amaran, can Coach Dan name every receiver drafted for him? I cannot. I cannot indeed. Rondo, good morning. Dew Crew, back at you. How you doing today, my friend? Egon, Eagles too. Life Lessons in the Lions. What up, though, Coach? I appreciate your work and look forward to whatever you're working on. This might be just out to win the Super Bowl. The healthiest team in the later of the season takes care. 100%. Yeah, if we're one of the healthier teams, unlike last year, late in the season, we're probably going to have a pretty good shot. And I like the way you're thinking there, Life Lessons, and thank you for always being a part of the channel. Marcus, Rams, Eagles, and Lions are our best drafters. Exclamation point. Might be true. Johnny O, smash the buttons. All the buttons we want. Rock, Coach Rock, Guantanamo Bay, where our Navy base in Cuba being hit by Melissa. I'm sure all ships and planes are out of the area. Hopefully all are safe. Yeah, I'm guessing they had some time to prepare for this. Just, hopefully they did a good job preparing. Mary, Rock, yes, sir. Praying for them. You have to, right? Leonard, greeting and salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. I got 4 tickets for Sunday's game. I have work and can't attend. Hey, everybody talk to Leonard. Maybe you can get some tickets. Silver Server, definitely flowers to Coach. Thanks for that. Every day staying very positive with us. Hey, this is my nature. I'm positive Pete by nature. Life Lessons, I meant this our year to win the Super Bowl. I like the way you're thinking indeed, my friend. Trim River, good, MVP Gibbs with exclamation points. I'm down with that. Johnny, I agree with that. Rock. Big D, morning crew, a little late today, but better than never. This is very accurate. Ron, good morning, dear crew. I think we should not have signed Davenport. It happens, man. I mean, they rolled the dice. The good thing is that contract is very team friendly. Well, no one would ever take a running back because Kuiper said it was a waste. Gibbs changed that thinking. Yes, he did fully. Trim River, Allen Iverson knows no bounds. Could be accurate. Life Lessons. Leonard, are you selling your tickets? I believe so. We'll have to let you guys dive into that. Big D, yes, Gibbs did change the running back theory. I agree with you fully. Mary, good morning, Big D. You made it. That's what counts. And nothing wrong with that, indeed. Hookadoo. That would crush our defense and the moral. I hope to God that he stays with us. I hope he does too. Leonard, yes, Life Lessons. Life Lessons. I think we should find a long-term center. I think my anticipation is Life Lessons. Next free agency or draft, you're going to see the Lions probably go after that and a left tackle. Big D, Miss Mary, yes, Mama. Woo! Exclamation point. Trim Reaper. My mother is offering Shep a job if he keeps it up. There you go. Big D. We'll draft one next year at center. Probably accurate. Johnny L. I think that Kuiper is a blowhard. Life Lessons. Hey, he's been around a long time, and I get it. He's not always right, but he is entertaining. And that's at the end of the day, he's on TV. That's probably his number one job, be entertaining. Life Lessons, Leonard. How much? Chuck, trade isn't happening. We'll find out. Coach Rock, sounds like we have a coach thinking about other things and not the job he's supposed to be doing now. We have seen those results before. Shake my head. It happens, man. And probably more than we realize there. Coach Rock, the Trim Reaper. Brian Branch returning makes me want to slap my grandma. Ooh, I'll leave that to you. Egon, that does worry me some, Rock. Hookadoo. That's hitting the nail on the head, Rock. Big D. Reaper, I did, and she slapped me back. Probably a wise move. Life lessons, BB coming back will make a huge difference. I concur. Mary Smith, Trim, your grandma is going to put a BTA on you in the doghouse. Very true. Dolo Dynamite, get those topics, my guys. Get to those topics. We are indeed. Reversion of the mean. Some of the best moves are the ones you don't make. Trust the process. I like it. I like it indeed, Reversion. Big D, Rock Buddy, very true. Exclamation point. Ziggy and friends. That's great news about Brian Branch getting his head on straight. We need him bad and there to be aggressive. But no penalties, no. Yeah, I agree with you fully. Ken, hope next year's draft is deep with quality offensive tackles and centers. Let's hope Lions can find young replacements, Glasgow and Decker. I'm guessing they're on it, 100%. Trim Reaper laughing. Good morning, Mary. Moonscar, FYI coach, the Pawpaw Red Wolves led the entire state, all divisions led the entire state in rushing, all divisions, yards and touchdowns. Had an individual state leader as well, 1,799 yards and 28 touchdowns. Hey, stuff I did not know, and that's pretty good stuff. Anymore, Trim, they would then slap you with her cast iron frying pan. Might be true. Dennis, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, back at you. How you doing? Big D, the center on Indiana is a boss. We'll have to check him out. Thomas, Juju got away with a crime on the field. Exclamation point. Did he even get fined? I don't think so. Don't care. Just my opinion. If you watch the film, Juju deserves way worse than that. I know some players across the league, not Lions players, have called him out on that. So I think you're spot on with that, Thomas. Mary, Rock, I hope not, but agree he needs to be focused on the team. Agreed with that fully. Leonard, the Holes coach is in the offensive line. Probably true. The Trim Reaper, Big D, laughing. Rondo, let's see. I think the offensive line, especially left tackle depth, is a priority. Let's get to that. The Rebel, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Back at you. Ken Ross, O-line depth is a worry, especially if Decker can't play. I concur with that. Big D, Timmy, buddy, laughing out loud. Now I got no place to lay my head. Might be true. That could be why he's not here. Coach Rock, I love how Juju faked falling to the ground after the slap on the helmet. What a Hyman. All right. The Rebel, I feel like our team is getting healthy and they don't need to add anyone else. You know, it is hard to think of spots where it's clearly, other than maybe offensive line depth, clearly advantageous from the pay to get some depth. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the coaches have a different opinion and the front office. Johnny L. Henry, so you got hit by one of those, question mark? I know I did. Yeah, I remember the belt. I remember the comb, the brush, the soap, the whole everything, man. Trim Reaper, respect to the grandmas. I like the way you're thinking with some prayer. Thomas, massive trade. Exclamation point, ain't happening, y'all. It's clickbait season. The Rebel, 100%. All right. Henry Moore, absolutely did. Not fun. Donkey Kong Super Bowl bust. There he is with some exclamation points. See, Corey, let's see. As fans, we need the visualization of Lombardi being hosted in downtown. D. I see it. Exclamation point. JDC, laughing out loud. Yeah, I mean, for the team, the front office, the coaches, everybody visualizes seeing it. It makes it more possible, at least in my opinion. All right, Big D, Juju is a person that is census word after lots of side shows said Jew Poo deserved it. Yes, a few people across the league have talked about that. Miss Amerly, Coach Rock, Juju trying for an Oscar all the time. Might be true. Hey, got to extend his abilities, right? Thomas Tyrion, my opinion, is playing far from great, but he is solid. The backups play better than he has all last week. Exclamation point, TA will get better, but he's not a superstar just yet. Yeah, give him time, 100%. Courtney, Donovan Peoples-Jones, thank you for that. Donovan Peoples-Jones, there we go. Leonard, Coach, I think Goff needs more time to hit JMO, so it still needs more offense lineup. I agree with you. In the last month, I feel like his time in the pocket has gone down, but the coaches have kind of compensated that by doing more three-step drops, a little bit extra protection in there, but it does kill some other things about the offense. Johnny L. Courtney Nichols. Let's see. Silver Server. One is going to want to get paid. Lions still got Reed, TA, Rakestraw for next year. And we don't know what they really think about some of these second-string cornerbacks who played so well. I don't see it. Yeah, if they do get them, I think it's on a one-year rental. I don't think they're keeping them long-term. Been wrong before, of course. Big D, everyone sees how upset off Garrett was after his 5-sack game. I mean, dude had one of the biggest performances in NFL history, and they weren't even close in the game, even riding that. Feel bad for the dude, but he made his decision. Thomas Rebel 08, in my opinion, is correct. Exclamation point. Once we get totally healthy with guys coming back, we don't really need anyone else. Correct with that. Trey Reaper, let's see, Willis and Tyron Smith are attainable and possible starters. Yeah, maybe want to check them out. Courtney, Nick Whiteside, exclamation point, Gem. So far, he has been, hasn't he? Michael, laughing out loud, with the ESPN involved, they're betting on it. It could be true. They are involved in betting along with the NFL. Johnny O. Courtney Nichols, no, please, gosh, no. I'm down with that. Leonard, agreed. Silver, Coach Rock. Ray Shaw, I'm believing that he's a kin of Davenport. Might be true. So again, friends, give me a big woo this morning. Hey, there you go. You got a big woo this morning. Miss Aveley, I think we'll make a trade. I'm hoping for a left tackle. We'll see if they do. Courtney, I'm keeping Nick Whiteside. I like him. I like him a lot. I talked about it this preseason. I get why they got off him. I also get why they brought him back. So hopefully the kid rises to the occasion and keeps the team keeps him around. Version of the mean, we as fans aren't even close to the level of experienced GM. We critique out of emotion, and we are great at spending someone else's money on or draft picks. Yeah, I agree with that fully, 100%. Sir, if Garrett was mad about losing, he should give back a large portion of that bag he took and allow the Browns to spend it around to surround him with more talent. See if they do it. Rondo, do you think some of the excess players we have could be also traded? It's possible our teams want some of our depth. The problem is you would have to want to open up some holes on the team in order to acquire somebody. I'm not a fan of lessening the depth, but maybe Brad Holmes is. So again, friends, good morning, everybody. Back at you. Mary, I would keep Whiteside and Mallet. Me too. Thomas, Rake, Davenport, Baki, one more extended injury each. I'd say bye-bye. Maybe they will. Johnny L, yes, indeed. Mary, Coach Rock, Brad's biggest trade was Stafford and hoping he matched that one. Woo! We'll see if they do. Shep, stay off that social network meat grind. Focus on where you are and don't cause distractions. Don't put those extra worries in your players who are getting attached to you. I'd say, yeah, maybe they will, maybe won't. I don't know. Mary, my opinion is it is. Let's see, Johnny L, I agree with you on that. Thomas, a Lion Dog, maybe the flea flicker play is coming up. Hey, I would run to the first play of every game. That's just me. Dolo Dynamite, Dan, do you think we go after Keon? Come on, Thibodeau, it's possible, but if I'm the Giants, why would I give up on him unless I'm just not going to resign him? In which case, Keon Thibodeau, I guess he's a one-year rental, and I would have no problem with it. If you're really going after the Super Bowl, you can beef up any part of the team, even with a few one-year rentals. I probably would do it. Mary Smith sounds good! Exclamation point. Courtney Hutch is going to sack JJ and give him a kiss. Might be true. Let's see, Mary. My opinion is that Brad and Campbell will be looking at another quarterback and center that I have no other picks. Okay, maybe they will go after that. Phil, JJ has to be afraid of facing Lions. I would think so. Thomas, Lion Dog 100%. I'm thinking there's the Jets sweep with JMO. Do remember seeing one this year. JMO needs to be more than a $25 million decoy. Let's see what they do. Johnny Gas Sports. Good morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Back at you, Gas, man. Kurt Steele. I give an interesting take about Davenport on the Boss Up Ball podcast following Lions Talk Live this morning. We'll check it out. Lion Dog, could Amik have another great day covering JJ? It is possible, man. I think he matched up well with him. Mary Smith, I think so. Lion Dog, I can't wait. I think we're all chopping the bit for Sunday's game. Let's see. Coach Rock might want to throw a couple of guys over to cover JJ. We'll see if they do. Thomas Davenport, even if healthy, I don't bring him back until game 15. Why? He's not going to last long. 3 games before playoffs would get him ready. Maybe that's what they'll do. Phil, how does the Lions get these mid-tier players to play like Pro Bowlers? Question mark. When they go elsewhere and disappear. It's a good question. I would say probably a credit to the coaching staff and the schemes. Mary Smith, Professor Steele, thumbs up. Senator, where? Phil, I've seen live streams. Jamaica, it's not looking bad yet at all. Okay. Let's see, Michael. 2 years in a row, Coach meddling cost the Lions games they could have won. Question mark. It needs to be stopped from interfering with teams during the regular season. See what they do. We'll see what the NCAA worries about. Dolo, Lions going 14-2. Wouldn't that be some? Science Service, would his med be picked back up? After week 9, they can get him back. Phil, I've seen winds up to 240 miles per hour. Wow, that's moving. Let's see. Tell the Hun, Coach, nuclear winds are my bad. I stand corrected. Thank you for that, Tell the Hun. Michael, though there's 17 games in the season. There are indeed. Coach Rock, when I was the cruise, Melissa was forming to our west where we were at Old St. John, could feel the winds. Man, I'm glad you got off that cruise. Tell, well, close to up there anyways. Okay, Lauren, I saw something that Cousins might get traded to Minnesota. We'll see if they make the move. Bring him back. Phil, Vikings are in real trouble. Coach is getting criticized and looked at seriously. Could be true. Anytime you lose, that happens, right? We're going to do week 9 silent service. Brian, Minnesota backup quarterback is a rookie, last name Bramier or something, played good in preseason. We'll check him out. Dr. Troy, who are we looking at? And now you know. Phil, love the TV show MASH opening song. Yeah, I did love MASH. I grew up, my dad watched that show religiously. I remember sitting and watching it with him all the time. Pierce, Dr. Troy, Jalen Phillips, and Rocco and Willen. There you go. Mary, we shouldn't be hard on the staff after what we've seen last week. I truly believe in Brad and Dan doing their best. I agree with that. Phil, Moonscar, Phil, the MASH theme song might not be sending the right message in today's mental health awareness society. Okay. Phil, for myself, no one else. Justin for North Carolina. Good morning. Dave Montgomery, glaring and sorry, Vikings fans might be doing just that. Daniel, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point, back at you. Eddie's Fish, I think the Lions will not make a trade. I wish they would trade for a left tackle to back up Dan Skipper. See if they will. Stay Mold Soup, asking the Duke Crew to support me, my streaming the Temptation song, My Girl. I would greatly appreciate it. We'll see if they can do that. How do we do? When Davenport does return, are they going to inform the ER first? They probably should have people standing by, right? Silver Surf Mary Smith, I love your new logo with that blue lion. Exclamation points. I'm down with that. Trim Reaver. Mama Damas is strong as an ox. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. And yes, she is, man. She is ornery as all get out. The Moonscar, they will keep an extra ambulance on alert for Davenport. Probably keep medical staff running next to him on the field. I think would be a wise move. Leonard messaged me about them tickets. Hey, there you go. Eddie's Fish. I would like to see the Lions use a 3 running back system to mix up the defense. We'll see if they can do that. Mary Smith, Silver Server. My grandson did that, said he wanted the Lions logo, and that's what gave me. All right. Hey, that's a good logo indeed. Thomas, if players need to financially secure their families on top of their millions they already have, then why we as fans make 50 times less? Exclamation point. That's how stupid are paying the tickets for the game. Yeah, supply and demand. If people don't buy the tickets, the prices would go down. The problem is everybody keeps buying the tickets, so the prices go up. Huckadoo, Moonscar, laughing. Mary Smith, same old soup, thumbs up. Amy Spray, please punch buttons today. Exclamation point. Yep, hit all the buttons. And thank you for that, Amy. Silver, you know, I think the Lions are experiencing some struggles on that offense line. Left tackle is a problem. The young offensive guards are learning. Glasgow, great fellow, funny, solid, but not Ragnow. That's why so many deep throws. Yeah, why not so many deep throws? I agree with that. Just a guess. I think you're spot on with that, Silver. Thomas, I argue all day long the most valuable player in the D was Branch. Exclamation point. Why? Question mark. He can play any DB position, even need emergency outside linebacker. Yeah, they do play him a little bit as a linebacker. Silver, Mary Smith, truly wonderful. I concur. Justin from North Carolina. Utah's Caleb Loam is a really good left tackle. Lions could look at. May see if they do. Thomas, man, I'm looking for him realistically. Exclamation point next year. To be honest, he's a rookie who has missed 9/10 of the year already. Talent is there, just needs to be sharp. And yeah, agreed. I wouldn't have overly high expectations for him as a rookie. Thomas, I still need to buy weeks per team every 6th or 7th week. I'm surprised they haven't put in a second bye week, to your point, Thomas, and maybe in time they will. Remember, have a great day, Coach of Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Woo! Back at you. Thomas, when the Lions will play the Super Bowl, I'm not watching that halftime show. Fair enough. Silver, Leonard Gonzalez, sorry, fellow, I hadn't seen your post. I basically repeated what you wrote on the offensive line. Deep shots down the middle of the field to J-Mo. Could be. Dolodema, I keep Nick too, but bring in more. Never hurts to create competition. No, the more talent you have, the better. Mary Smith, have a great day. You can see you all tomorrow. I'll see you on the Boss Up Ball Out at 8 a.m. Be blessed and have a safe day. Hey, have a great day, Queen Mary, as always. DM5 TV, the backups played well, but let's not get crazy here. We're going against banged up Ukwa and banged up Mike Evans. Even Evans went out there. We're going against Tampa Bay's backup receivers. I'll take that. Dolo Dynamite are also looking for Taylor. Might be true. Thomas, guys, it's not hard to get the ball to Jama. You just heard of crossing routes. Yeah, let's see if they do that. Leo, dang, I'm late. What happened? Who are we trading for? Now you know. At least I'm assuming you know by now, but we'll see. Dr. Detroit, those are decent plug players. They are indeed. Corey, I was hoping Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah, I think some people are hoping for Kayvon. Let's see. Derek, Walt Disney is rolling in his grave. Mickey has turned his house into a gambling den. All right. Let's see. Motor City Paulie, counterpoint. What if Brad was to trade JMO for a middle first-round pick next year that he could use with ours to trade up for an elite tackle? Could be. We would have to eat a lot of JMO's contract that he just signed, though. That's could be part of it, though. Not Detroit. Hey, kids, pays your bills, or Guido the mouse will be your next visit. Yeah, Guido the mouse. How about that? Southwest Green Sanitation's Duke Crew. Woo! Good to see you, Southwest. It's been a hot second. Trim Reaper, hit all the buttons. If you would, please. That'd be great. Dolo Donate. We should go after Chase on. Maybe they will. Justin from North Carolina, laughing out loud. Dr. Troy, laughing out loud. MASH was a comedy. It wasn't a comedy. Had some serious moments. So, Kerry, happy trails. Have a great hump day. Stay safe, everyone. Go Lions. Woo! Back at you, Dr. Troy. That was the first post Davenport was released to play and hurt his ankle getting out of the bed. He might have got it hurt going out of bed. Hookadoo, happy trails, new crew, one pride worldwide. Back at you, Dr. Troy. We need a left tackle that is good as Decker. We'll see if we can get one. Have a good day, all. Back at you, Southwest. Who cares the name? Same Tampa team that smoked everybody. I don't care who was hurt. Yeah, nobody makes excuses when we're hurt. I get your point there. Our entire defense was hurt. Nobody talked about that. Yeah, especially last year. Remember, they were silent on it. Motor City Paul, let's go. Exclamation point. Bo, happy trails, new crew. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Dynamite, stop trying to trade JMO. Once he's gone, you're going to be crying. I would agree with that. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get over to you as soon as possible. You would be so kind before departing. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being, and we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.